Okay, I'm going to show you a little video today of a 1948 Ford 8N tractor that my brother picked up for his farm. Well, the boys refer to it as Uncle Tim's cat farm. He got it purposely just for using a little 5-foot brush hog behind it to try and keep the overgrown areas under control. But here it is. When we went to pick it up, it had the brush hog still attached to it. We went ahead and unhooked it and just set the brush hog on the trailer behind it. But it's been roughly 2 to 3 years since this tractor ran. It was a good running tractor. The gentleman who had it used it just for brush hogging, keeping the rough areas trimmed down around this place. It does not have a lot of major oil leaks to it. Just you know, the general places you'd see some oil. You got some coming around the steering gearbox there, and just a little around the oil fill. It's sat underneath a red oak tree, so it's got a lot of little mildew and some vegetation growing on it, which is pretty much standard in this area when you leave one sit underneath a tree like that. Will's Allis-Chalmers sat underneath the same type of tree and had the same type of vegetation growing on the exterior of it. It doesn't take long for it to get there. I know it makes it look like the tractor's been sitting for years, but this tractor has not sat that long. The boys put a battery in it last night, and was going to try and crank it over, and evidently the alternator has some internal issues with it, because the wires right at the alternator is where the smoke started rolling, and then it just continued all the way up to the dash. So they got the battery unhooked, and it's going to need a new alternator, a new wiring harness. It's probably had some corrosion get into it, and just due to the weather and sitting not being used. But Will looked it over, and everything looks pretty good. The oil's in good shape. The radiator's full of good, clean coolant. It appears like it won't take a whole lot to get this running. But I will get y'all an updated video once we get this running. The tires they're old and weather checked a little and worn out, but they hold air. There's no reason why they won't run for a few years. I think the front tires are worse than the rear tires, but they were flat yesterday. The front tires were. We aired them up, and they have held air since we've aired them up. So I'm assuming there's tubes in them. There usually is. The rear tires were holding air. We haven't put any air in them. They're not the same tire left to right on the rear. Size-wise, they're the same, just different tread pattern. Biggest issue with this tractor, other than the alternator and the electrical wiring not working now, is the steering has got a lot of play in it. Will is going to address that issue, so that way it's a little easier steering tractor, and that way the two front tires both go in the same direction instead of opposite directions. Seat metal on this tractor is very straight. The only place we saw any kind of damage to the sheet metal was right down here in the front, which is pretty common considering that's going to be the point of impact for most things when you're running these tractors. It's missing the emblem on the front. But other than that, the sheet metal on this tractor is very, very straight. The fenders are extremely straight. Usually the fenders have a lot of little dings in them from the tractor picking up stuff over the time and hitting the inside of the fenders. And these fenders don't appear to have any of that. We'll get the pressure washer off and wash all this scum off of it, and you can see exactly what it looks like. I'll show you that in another video.